up, everybody? Chris Jardine here, aka Snaggle J, and welcome to a new episode of Play Games Have Fun. Who had a new episode of Play Games Have Fun on their 2026 bingo card? I did. Here we are. I really wanted to start using this podcast again. Really get back into talking about gaming and things around gaming. Got some great episodes planned. I'm going to try to get out one episode a week. We're going to talk about new games. We're going to talk about old games. We're going to talk about, gaming news topics, I guess, and things around the gaming sphere. And I thought, what better way to break the ice on the rejuvenation of this podcast than to talk about some of my favorite games of 2025. 2025, in my opinion, a great year for gaming. At this point, as I slide into being referred to as a mid-40s individual, obviously the amount of time I have for gaming is limited. But I really, when putting together the games I wanted to talk about on this list, I was like, wow, I really did play a lot of games in 2025 that I enjoyed across many different genres. Sports, strategy, remakes, shooters, RPGs. One of the things I think that has been awesome and then that I constantly try to do is I try to try different things. If I think a game looks like I might enjoy it, even if it's in a genre that normally I wouldn't have, say, 5 or 10 years ago, I give it a try. There are games on this list that 5 years ago Snag would have hated, 10 years ago Snag would have hated. But I really enjoyed it. And then towards the end of the episode, I'm going to talk about a few things I'm looking forward to in the gaming sphere in 2026. Not a lot. Again, I don't like looking too far ahead, simply based on the fact that at this point, release dates are just a fantasy. And until the game comes out, it really doesn't matter. The one word of caution I will sort of air off the top here. This is my list of favorite games that I played. There may be games on this list that you hated. There may be games that you loved that I don't mention. It's probably because I either A, didn't play them, or B, didn't like them. The one game I will call it specifically, because I know I'm bound to get questions about it, is Clair Obscur Expedition 33. Didn't really play it. I gave it a shot. I'll be honest, I didn't enjoy it. I really enjoyed watching people play it and watching streams of it, but it wasn't for me. I may revisit it at some point and give it another try. But again, I wanted to call that one out specifically just with all the accolades, all the game of the years is one I'm sure people are bound to say you skipped Expedition 33. I did not skip it. I did not play it other than maybe an hour. So let's jump in to my favorite games of 2025. These are in no particular order. Just the order that I typed them out on this sheet. First up is Avowed. A new IP came out from Obsidian. Again, Obsidian will always be famous for Fallout New Vegas. I thought Avowed, which again has been hyped for several years, I thought Avowed was great. It wasn't, game of the year in the conversation, those sort of things. But the story was great. The weapons were great. The world was beautiful. I really enjoyed the journey of Avowed. I really enjoyed building my character and finding new weapons and finding a lot of the secrets that existed in the game. It wasn't by any stretch of the imaginations a perfect RPG experience. Again, it's a bit more on the linear side. But there was lots to do, lots of side stuff. Again, I thought the weapons were really cool. I thought the camp system was fun. It was just a really well done game. Not for everybody, because I think, again, right, in the categories of RPGs that we have now, where we have the more mature RPGs, and then we have kind of the more, I don't know what the opposite side of that coin is, the more Skyrim RPGs, as people tend to call them, that are a little more streamlined with relatively easy to use and easy to understand systems. Avowed obviously is more on the latter side of that scale, but I thought what it did and what it aimed to do, it did very, very well. And I really enjoyed my time with Avowed. I enjoyed some of the choices that you got to make and how it impacted the story. My son was playing it kind of along the same timeline as I was, so it was kind of, interesting for me to do it and make a decision, maybe him make an alternate decision, and see how that worked out. So Avowed, definitely early on in the year. Again, this game came out way back in February, which again, by this point, most people, forgot, especially when the awards, given out a lot in the November, December time frame. But I thought it was great. I look forward to seeing if we're going to get more games in Aora, which again is the same universe that Pillars of Eternity uses. I would imagine we'll probably get another Avowed at some point, but Avowed, definitely a favorite game of mine this year. Next up, a game that I think is going to be a very popular favorite games of 2025 choice for a lot of people, and that is Arc Raiders. I have always wanted to try an extraction shooter. I never got into Escape from Tarkov because to be quite honest, don't like playing PC games. Unless they are like a strategy game, something slow paced that I can play with mouse and keyboard. I don't like playing like games that require action on a PC where I have to use mouse and keyboard. I know I can use a controller, but again, I never really got into Escape from Tarkov. And Arc Raiders wasn't something that was super duper on my radar until I just happened to find myself with some time on the weekend that they did the tech test, the server slam, whatever the hell it was called. And I downloaded it and I gave it a try, and I'm like, oh crap, this game has some serious potential to be fun. I've thoroughly enjoyed just the gameplay loop. I play it mostly as a PvE player. I think in 40 some hours, I think I have 2 or 3 PvP kills. I enjoy the collection aspect of it. I enjoy the missions aspect of it. I will say, as a more casual player, the expedition system kind of sucks because I really have the choice of resetting my entire character and going through all of those motions again, which, again, as a casual player is difficult, given the time constraints that I have, or I risk just not having new stuff to do. I think I have maybe 1 or 2 quests left, and it's mostly because I screwed myself out of being able to complete them. But yeah, I just, it's one of those things where it's really well done. Obviously, Arc Raiders is hella popular. It has become the most streamed game on the internet. And again, just it has that nice balance of gunplay and exploration and stuff to do that it really, really, really grabbed my interest. And I've really enjoyed playing it. I've kind of tattered off of it a little bit recently, mostly because I moved on to playing other stuff. But I still will get the odd raid in here and there. I love watching it as a game on Twitch. Arc Raiders, again, it has been worth the hype, in my opinion. So another favorite game of mine for 2025. Let's move on. Obviously, I still have an attachment to the sports side of things, and the only sports game that is on my list for favorites in 2025 is College Football 26. I have loved the college football franchise upon its return, and I think 26 took a lot of the things that they started in 25 and then just added some new exciting elements on top of it. I've always loved the college football franchise way back to, I think the first one I had was 03. I love it. I love playing it. I love. It's probably the most played game that I remote play on my phone. Which again, I do like. I can do my recruiting tasks and that kind of stuff. I don't play games mostly just because of the size of the device, but I love College Football 26. It's the Dynasty mode is fantastic. It's not perfect by any stretch of the imagination. There are still things that I wish it did differently. There are still things that I wish it did better. The Dynasty progression, sometimes just infuriates you. Some of the decisions that the AI makes just infuriates you. But it's for my money, if you were going to play one sports game as an offline player, College Football 26 would be that sports game. That or NBA 2K because of the historical franchise modes. But I didn't play NBA 2K at all this year. I didn't play NBA. I didn't play NHL. I played an hour of Madden. The only real sports games I played this year were College Football 26 and MLB The Show 25. And MLB The Show 25 is not on this list because it infuriated me more than anything else throughout the year. So College Football 26, again, I love it. I'm still playing it. It came out in July, I think. And I'm still playing it 5-6 hours a week, grinding through a couple of dynasties that I have. One where I'm focused more on myself as a coach, and another one where I'm using Syracuse. Next on the favorite games list, and this is a game I waited for, and it came out, and I loved it, and that is Outer Worlds 2. If any of you have been a fan of my content historically, you know that I love the original Outer Worlds. I thought Outer Worlds was fantastic. I thought everything about it was really well done. And in Outer Worlds 2, I think everything was just better. Again, all of the things that you want in a staple RPG are there. The weapons were great. The gunplay was great. The story was very interesting. The factions were interesting. The choices that you made that was what I thought was maybe the best part of the game, was the choices that you had to make and the impact that they had on the game world. I really enjoyed, the variety of weapons, the variety of ways you could build your character. I will say that to me, the character progression was maybe a bit of a downer, mostly because the game really incentivized you to go very specific in skills and really punished players who wanted to be more of a generalist, which I understand the choice. I understand that, the game wants to force you into one or two areas of expertise when it comes to your character, whether it's intelligence, whether it's lockpicking, whether it's engineering, and really, it really dissuades having a more jack of all trades character, which is fine. It just, I don't like that you're leaving out that as an option. But Outer Worlds 2 to me was phenomenal. Obviously, I look forward to an Outer Worlds 3. Again, probably in 2030 range would be my guess, but it was worth the wait. I thought it was fantastic. I could not wait to get my hands on it. I played so much of it. My son got into it as well, which, now that he's a teenager, that has sort of become a more fun aspect of being a mature gamer is, I can share those experiences with, with my son. Like, when we were on camping trips over the course of the summer, he had downloaded the original Outer Worlds and was kind of working through that in anticipation of Outer Worlds 2 coming out. I thought it was phenomenal. I thought, again, right, there was so much to do. There was so much to do on every planet. Even just exploring around, right? You'd stumble across something, whether it was a little side quest or a little nest that you could clear out, and there was always loot at the end of it. And again, right, more on the simplistic side of the RPG scale. But I thought they did a fantastic job. I thought Outer Worlds 2, the music was fantastic. Again, I cannot say enough about the radio stations in the game. They were perfectly crafted to match the faction that you were listening to. The music was great. Like, again, it's those little attentions to detail that I thought made it a fantastic choice. Obsidian, to me, really knocked it out of the park twice this year with Avowed and with Outer Worlds 2. Two games that I just really enjoyed. And to be honest with you, Outer Worlds 2 is likely a game that I'm going to revisit multiple times. When I have some space, right? Because again, wanting to build different characters and try different weapons and different paths through it. So Outer Worlds 2, another one of my favorites. So that's about halfway through the list. Now we get into the more, I would say for the most part, 3 of the 4 games I mentioned are typical Snaggle J games. Obviously Arc Raiders, a little different. We get to the bottom half of the list. So let's start with Battlefield 6. I love Battlefield 6. Battlefield 1, to me, was the most fun I've ever had with an FPS game. Both in my enjoyment of the game and my enjoyment of the social aspect that it helped me bring to the game. So not just playing the game itself, but, playing it with my friends, making content with it. Some of the clips from Battlefield 1 are still my favorite, most viewed clips, like the Grenade Professional. I had a hell of a lot of fun with that game, making content with that game. Battlefield 6, to me, was a return to a lot of that. Really well done. It rekindled a lot of what made Battlefield great, which is weapon choices and class choice, and I've really enjoyed reconnecting with some of the people that I used to play Battlefield with, who, because the recent offerings have been just absolute crap, for a better way to look at it. We've gotten back to playing Wednesday night war games. And I think part of that is because, Battlefield 6 is good. It's fun. You can play it once a week and go out with your friends and have a good time. And again, right, settle into your class, and it's really well done. I think they got back to what made Battlefield fun, which is big, expansive maps. Again, the explosion physics and the buildings crumbling and all, it's unreal. The audio, it makes you feel like you're on the battlefield. The audio might be one of the better parts of the game, realistically. Which was probably why Battlefield 6 won several awards through the various organizations for their audio design. Just really well done. There's the first time you load into the game and you're on, one of the larger maps, and a fast mover goes overhead, and then a mortar shell hits the building next to you, and that building crumbles down. Like, holy crap. It is just a different level of immersion and engagement. And like I said, for me, bringing back some of that, what made Battlefield fun and great, which was the social element of it, has been awesome. So Battlefield 6, another one of my favorite games of the year. Next up, we're going to go to the completely different sphere of the gaming universe, and that is Grounded 2. Now, Grounded 2, to me, was the perfect casual. I could pick this up and play it for an hour. I could pick it up and play it for 5 hours, and the time just disappears. I love a good base building game, right? And obviously, like, Grounded has a great story behind it and a lot of fun things happening. Much like Satisfactory grabbed me in 2024, Grounded 2 just, it had a grip on me for like a month where, I wanted to build this. I wanted to build the new base. I wanted to go out and find this piece of equipment, and just kept going and kept going. It's cute. It's fun. It's very challenging at times. It's got a good story. It's got great graphics. It's got a little bit of everything for everybody. And again, much like I said with Outer Worlds 2, Grounded 2 took everything that was awesome about Grounded and kept it, and took a lot of the stuff that annoyed people about Grounded and fixed it. There was a bigger area. It was a lot more complex, new enemies. It was really, really, really well done. And if you're looking for one of those, sandbox style games, I cannot recommend Grounded 2 enough. Like I said, it was just very polished, very well done. So Grounded 2 on the list of favorite games for 2025. Next up, can't get through the list without a remake. Obviously, everybody loves their remakes. For me, one of my favorite games, my remake choice, is the Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion remake. Again, super well done. Kept a lot of the things that made Oblivion quirky in the first place, a lot of the little annoyances, but I thought it was fantastic. You know what? The Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion came out at a time when my life was in flux. I was going through a career change. It was just, we were trying to start a family. We were just buying our first home, first car. And I just remember Oblivion at that time. You know what? Oblivion to me was really the first open world RPG as an adult that I had kind of sunk my teeth into and played for 80, 90, 100 hours. And it was really nice that the remake that they did for Oblivion, threading that needle of keeping the things that made it great, and the charm and the quirks and the little, not necessarily exploits, but the little bugs that made it great, but then obviously refreshing it, making it look a little more modern, making it look a little more polished. You have your two camps of people. Your people who love Oblivion as their favorite Elder Scrolls game, and then the people who love Skyrim as their favorite Elder Scrolls game, and they are very different games. I mean, you wouldn't even know a lot of the time that they are the same universe. And for my money, I think Skyrim is ultimately the better game. But the Elder Scrolls 4 remake just brought back all of the things that were great about your first run through that game. And that really is the hallmark of a good remake. When you have, when a remake and a remaster can elicit the feelings that you had playing the game the first time. And I think, there was another game, and it's not on my list, but when I look back to like the Super Mario RPG remake, many of you who have followed me for years and years and years know that Super Mario RPG is one of my favorite games of all time. And the remaster, while modernizing it, making it a little better, adding some newer systems, it still elicited that same feeling you had when you played the game the first time. That's what I think makes a fantastic remake, and Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion did that for me. So it makes the favorite games list. And last but not least on my favorite games list, and this is an off the beaten path game for me, is Roadcraft. So Roadcraft is a more simulation-like construction driving game. Think Mud Runner, Snow Runner, what's the spin-off of those? Expeditions. Roadcraft came to a Game Pass earlier this year. in 2025. It's literally January 13th, Chris. Get it together. And I gave it a try again because I love having those more strategic kind of games to play, and I enjoyed the hell out of it. Again, right? If you've ever had fantasies of running your own road construction company, go download Roadcraft right now and give it a try. Is it infuriating as hell at certain points? Yes. Is it hard as hell at certain points? Yes. Does the game make very stupid programming decisions at certain points that you wonder what the hell you're doing with your life playing it? Yes. But when you finally get that road perfectly smoothed out and paved and what you need to run across it runs across it perfectly, do you have an immense sense of pride and satisfaction? Yes. It's great. It's what makes it a very intriguing strategy game. And I lean back to the Satisfactory comparison again that I used with was it Grounded earlier. It can at times make you want to put your fist through the monitor. But when you finally hit it and you finally click and it finally works, you're like, oh, okay. That you have that immense sense of pride. Like, I accomplished it. I was able to get to the next level or revamp the whatever I had to fix. And again, so Roadcraft for me was just one of those games that I wouldn't play it every day. I'd play it maybe an hour here and there, but I still have it installed and I will still pick it up at times and try to crank out a mission or go fix up a road that I had that might be in a little bit of disrepair. So that for me is my list of favorite games that I played in 2025. Just to recap: Avowed, Arc Raiders, College Football 26, Outer Worlds 2, Battlefield 6, Grounded 2, The Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion Remake, and Roadcraft. I would love to hear what some of your favorite games were in 2025. All of my social links are available in the notes of the show. Please reach out to me on X, join the Discord. I would love to hear it. Before we go, I do want to talk about briefly some things I'm looking forward to hopefully playing in 2026. I think most of these are likely guaranteed to be released in 2026, but in the current sphere of thing, who the hell knows? But I did want to talk about a few things that I'm excited to see this year, and again, in no particular order. I'm excited for some new Starfield content, or more of a Starfield 2.0. Listen, Starfield has been super polarizing in the Bethesda community. I thoroughly enjoyed my time with Starfield. Again, I didn't maybe play it to the extent that I would have wanted to, but I loved Starfield. I thought it was great. I think the core and the story of the game is great. There's a lot to do, but I think there's a lot of key things missing. And I really do hope that Bethesda has the ability to give Starfield its No Man's Sky path. I don't think Starfield is as poor of a situation as No Man's Sky was as its lowest. But again, I do think there's a path for Bethesda here to Fallout 76 it to a certain extent. Release a bunch of new content, a bunch of cool stuff. I'm looking forward to seeing that. I know they've been talking about new Starfield stuff for quite a while. And I'm really hoping that it's soon. And I'm really hoping that it vaults Starfield up the list of must-plays for a lot of people. I'm looking forward to GTA 6. I'm just going to say it. I'm sure that's probably on everybody's list. The first GTA game in 14 years, 15 years, I guess it'll be by the time it comes out. Now 3 times delayed. I do think it will hit the November window. Again, it's a GTA game. They have become iconic in the 3D era. When San Andreas came out, I took a week off of work to play San Andreas. When GTA 4 or 5? When GTA 5 came out, I traveled, an hour to town, to the closest nearby town to try to find a copy. I think GTA 6 has that ability. They are often generational games. My one concern with GTA is the political climate piece. GTA has always been known to take risks. My concern is that with the way the world is going, do they take maybe too unnecessary of a risk and draw a bunch of ire on it? I don't know. But I'm looking forward to playing it. I think it's going to be phenomenal when we do get it. Another game I'm looking forward to is 007 First Light. I have some reservations about this game, mostly because, the company making it is more famous for Hitman games. Well, the Hitman formula, the Hitman pacing, the Hitman methodology is not going to work for a 007 game, which I'm sure they are well aware of. Again, a game that has been delayed. I think it's coming out in May. But I'm looking forward to it. Again, I've always enjoyed 007 games. I do think that there is space in the world to introduce 007 to an entirely new generation of people. I hope it's good. I hope it is good. I'm going to give it a try no matter what, but my hope is there. And then the last two games are a couple of Xbox games that I'm really, really looking forward to. The first one is Fable. Again, I think the Fable franchise is not one of my favorites. It's not up there for me. They're great, don't get me wrong, but it's never been something that I've attached myself to. But again, I've gotten older. My gaming taste has evolved, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what the new Fable game offers in the more hack and slash space. I mean, I love a good hack and slash game, so we're going to get in there. Fable is definitely one that I think has some potential. I think you're really going to see, obviously, depending on who you talk to, a lot of people think that Xbox needs a very big year. Be that as it may, I think there's a lot of great Xbox games, studio games. Again, you look last year, a couple of them that I mentioned earlier, right? Avowed, Outer Worlds 2. I'm looking forward to seeing what Fable can do and that action RPG genre, which I love so much. I'm going to give it a try. The other Xbox game I'm super pumped about, I cannot wait. I need it in my life, literally right now, and that is Forza Horizon 6. I was not majorly into the Forza Horizon franchise until 5, and Forza Horizon 5 became like my end-all, be-all game of the latter half of whatever year it was that it came out, 2021, 2022. It came out right around the launch of the 2021. So it came out right around the launch of the Xbox. And having not played the Forza Horizon series before, 5 was great. You could turn it on. There was always so much to do. So many cars, so many events. The map was phenomenal. It was one of those games that you sit down to play it for 45 minutes, and the next thing you know, 3 hours has gone by. 6, changing the landscape. Obviously, we're moving from Mexico to Japan, which I'm sure is going to create an awesome map with a lot of different, you're going to have the city aspect of it, which, again, we really didn't get. That was the one thing, like with 5, there really wasn't like a main, like there were towns, but like there wasn't like a main big city, which I expect in the Japan map in 6, we're likely going to get a some sort of version of Tokyo. So you're probably going to see, again, they're probably going to lean into a lot of drifting stuff. And again, I think that has the potential to be super cool, but I'm really just looking for, again, I want that fire that I had when 5 came out, which again, a different time, right? Early in the Xbox's life cycle, there wasn't a whole lot to play. but I will make the room for Forza Horizon 6. So there you go. What games in 2026 are you looking forward to? There's a lot out there. Are you looking forward to maybe seeing what happens on the sports scene, whether we get some viable upgrades to the show 26 or college football 27? Do we see some new entries into the sphere that maybe we haven't heard about or talked about? I'd love to hear it. Again, head down to the show description. Reach out to me on social media. Join the Discord. I'd love to chat with you about just games in general, what some of your favorite games of 2025 are, what you're looking forward to in 2026. I want to say, first of all, that I appreciate everybody who listened to this podcast. If you made it all the way this far, give yourself a gold star on your sticker chart. You deserve it. Thank you so much for subscribing. If you do subscribe, whether it's on the YouTube or whether it's on your podcast app of choice on Android or iOS. I have been Chris Jardine, a.k.a. Snaggle J. And until next time, just have fun.